There is a unique kind of exhaustion that you only understand when you have been in the orbit of a narcissist. It is a soul-level fatigue. It is the confusion of 1,000 conversations that run in circles, leaving you questioning your own sanity. It is the sting of a carefully worded insult disguised as a joke. It is the feeling of being invisible and intensely scrutinized, all at the same time. It is the emptiness that comes after they have been filled. If you are listening to these words, you know this feeling. And the first thing you must understand is this: you are not imagining it. You are not too sensitive. You are not crazy. You are being systematically and expertly drained by design. You have been dealing with a mind that operates on a completely different set of rules. You have been trying to play a game of chess while they are playing a game of energetic vampirism, and you have been losing not because you are a bad player, but because you did not understand the nature of the game. Today that ends. Today I will not teach you how to win their game. I will teach you how to become the board they cannot play on. I will give you a technique, a simple 2-second shift in your being that does not just defend against the narcissist, but makes you completely and utterly indigestible to them. Treat is more than silence. It is a shield forged from the very thing they cannot comprehend, inner stillness. To understand the shield, you must first understand the weapon you are facing. And to understand the narcissist, you must understand one single critical concept. It is the key to their entire operating system. The concept is called narcissistic supply. Do not be intimidated by the psychological The idea is simple. Think of the narcissist as an addict. They have a gnawing, bottomless emptiness inside them, a void where their sense of self-worth should be. And like any addict, they are in a constant, desperate search for their drug. In what is that drug? You are. More specifically, your emotional reaction is their drug. Your attention, your admiration, your praise, that is a potent form of their supply. It validates their grandiose self-image. But do not be mistaken, the supply does not have to be positive. Your fear, frustration, your anger, your tears, your desperate attempts to defend yourself. This is also a high-grade premium supply. To the narcissist, a strong emotional reaction, positive or negative, means the same thing. I have power over you. I can affect you. Therefore I exist. I am significant. Your joy proves their power. Your pain proves their power. As long as you are reacting, they are winning. They are getting their fix. The entire purpose of their provocations, their manipulations, their gaslighting, is to elicit a response from you, to mine you for this emotional energy. You are not a person to them. You are a resource, a well from which they draw their life force. And so you have tried to stop them. You have tried to fight back. Let me ask you, how has that worked for you? You have tried to use logic. You have armed yourself with facts, with evidence, with timelines of events, trying to prove your point and expose their lies. You have laid out your case like a master lawyer, believing that the sheer force of the truth would make them see, and you watched in disbelief as they denied the undeniable, as they twisted your words, changed the subject, and somehow, by the end of the conversation, made you the one who was apologizing. You must understand, you cannot win a logical argument with someone who is not playing by the rules of logic. Their goal is not to find the truth. Their goal is to get a reaction. The more you try to reason with them, the more frustrated you become. Your frustration is their supply. You explaining yourself exhaustively is you giving them your undivided attention. That attention is their supply. To them, your well-reasoned argument is nothing more than the beautiful, desperate song of a bird in a cage. They do not hear the words, they only enjoy the performance. Then perhaps you have tried a different approach. You have tried emotional pleas. You have opened your heart, explaining how much their actions have hurt you. You have cried, hoping that your genuine pain would trigger their empathy. But you cannot trigger empathy where none exists. To the narcissist, your tears are not a reason to stop. They are proof that their weapon is sharp. Your pain is their victory lap. It is the ultimate confirmation of their power to shatter your emotional state. You have offered them your vulnerability as a peace treaty, and they have accepted it as their most potent form of supply. You have shown them exactly where to strike the next time they need a fix. So, logic fails and emotion fails. What is left in your arsenal? For most, the final resort is anger. The counterattack. You have had enough. You refuse to be their punching bag any longer. And so, you unleash your fury. You call them out on their behavior. You raise your voice. You meet their aggression with your own. For a brief, fleeting moment, it feels good. It feels like you are finally taking back your power. You are not. You are giving them the most intoxicating form of supply imaginable. Your rage is a spectacle. It is high drama, high energy, and it confirms their deepest belief that they are the center of the universe, capable of moving even the most stoic person to a state of emotional chaos. Furthermore, it gives them the ultimate weapon. The moment you lose your composure, you lose all credibility. They can now calmly step back, point the finger and say, "Look at you, you are unhinged. You are the abusive one. You have anger issues." They will play the victim with an Oscar-worthy performance, and to any outside observer, they will appear to be the calm, reasonable one dealing with an unstable person. You have not only refilled their supply for a week, you have handed them the perfect script to paint you as the villain. So, logic is a trap. Emotion is a feast. Anger is a grand spectacle. What about silence? Surely, ignoring them is the answer, right? Here we must make the most important distinction of this entire lesson. The silence of anger is not the same as the silence of power. When you give a narcissist the silent treatment, you are not truly being silent. You are radiating a storm of emotion. Your jaw is clenched. Your energy is screaming with resentment and fury. You are pointedly ignoring them as a form of punishment. This is not the absence of a reaction. It is a loud, passive-aggressive reaction. And the narcissist feels it. They savor it. They know they have gotten under your skin. They know they have affected you so deeply that you have been reduced to this childish battle of wills. Your angry silence is still a form of engagement. You are still on their chessboard playing their game. You are still providing them with supply, because they know they are the cause of this immense, silent tantrum. They feed on your bitterness. So if every single path you have taken leads to a dead end, if fighting back feeds them, if crying feeds them, if reasoning feeds them, and if even your angry silence feeds them, what is left? What is the one thing the narcissist cannot metabolize? What is the one response that stars them? It is not an action. It is not a reaction. It is a state of being. It is a void. It is time to learn the woe-second technique. This technique is not about what you say or do in those 2 seconds. It is about what you consciously choose to become. When the narcissist launches their next provocation, a subtle insult, a manipulative question, a gaslighting comment, you are going to do something radical. You are going to do nothing. For 2 full seconds you will become a black hole for their emotional projection. You will not flinch. You will not defend. You will not argue. You will not even engage them with an angry stare. You will simply hold a calm, neutral, almost bored expression. But this is not just an external performance. This is where this technique becomes more than silence. Because in those 2 seconds you are going to perform an internal action. You are going to use the physiological tools of command. You will maintain your upright posture. You will take one slow, silent, diaphragmatic breath. You will consciously relax your jaw, your shoulders, your hands. You will in essence create a pocket of absolute energetic neutrality. This is the 2-second void. It is not the silence of anger. It is the silence of indifference. It is not the pause of someone thinking of a comeback. It is the pause of someone who has realized the conversation is not worthy of their energy. This void is a vacuum that starves them of their supply. The narcissist throws their emotional hook at you, expecting to reel in a reaction. But the hook meets nothing. It passes right through you. There is no anger to latch onto, no fear to savor, no frustration to exploit. There is only calm. A placid, uninteresting calm. To the narcissist, this is terrifying. It is like speaking to a wall, but worse. A wall is an inanimate object. You are a human being who is consciously choosing to grant them zero emotional significance. You are looking at them yet making them feel completely and utterly invisible. You have not engaged in their battle. You have simply demonstrated that you are not even on the same battlefield. This technique is powerful because it is rooted in a fundamental law of behavioral psychology. It is a principle known as extinction. And understanding this principle is the key to your permanent freedom. To truly understand the power of what you are doing with this 2-second void, You do not need ancient philosophy. You only need to understand one of the most fundamental and ruthlessly effective laws of behavioral psychology. In the mid-20th century, the psychologist Addict, Skinner conducted thousands of experiments that laid the foundation for our modern understanding of how behaviors are learned and unlearned. His work on what is called operant conditioning is now bedrock science, and within that science, he identified a powerful process. The process is called extinction. The principle is simple. Any behavior that is consistently followed by a reward or a reinforcement will continue. Any behavior that is consistently not followed by a reward will eventually stop. It will become extinct. Imagine a pigeon in a box. It learns that by pecking a small red button, a food pellet is dispensed. The pecking is the behavior. The food is the reinforcement. The pigeon will peck that button all day long. Now, imagine you turn off the machine. The pigeon pecks the button and nothing happens. Share. No food pellet. What does it do? Does it simply walk away? No. At first, it pecks the button more frantically. Faster. Share. Harder. It might even get angry, squawking and flapping its wings. It tries the one behavior that has always worked, but with more intensity. This predictable and temporary escalation of the behavior, right after the reward is removed, is called an extinction burst. The pigeon is essentially screaming at the machine, "Hey, this is supposed to work, give me my pellet." But if the pellets never come, no matter how hard it pecks, the pigeon eventually learns that the button is now useless. The pecking behavior becomes extinct. You have been the food dispenser. The narcissist has been the pigeon, pecking at your emotional buttons, day in and day out, always receiving their pellet of supply. Your anger, your sadness, your defense, these are the pellets. The 2-second void is you, turning off the machine. And just like the pigeon, the narcissist will not simply walk away at first. The moment you stop reacting, the moment you create that calm, neutral void, they will be confused. And then they will escalate. They will enter their own extinction burst. Their insults may become more vicious, their accusations more wild, their attempts at manipulation more desperate. They will try every button they have ever installed in you, but with more force. They are screaming at you with their behavior, react, cry, yell. Show me that I still have power over you. Give me my pellet. This is the most dangerous moment. It is the moment where most people break. They endure the initial provocation, but they cannot withstand the extinction burst. They finally give in and have the huge emotional reaction the narcissist was escalating for, and in doing so, they teach the narcissist a terrible lesson, that if they just try hard enough, the machine will eventually pay out. But you will not break, because you now understand what is happening. You will see their extinction burst not as a sign of their increased power, but as a sign of their profound and growing weakness. It is the death rattle of their control over you. And when you can hold that 2-second void, when you can stay in that state of physiological calm during their extinction burst, you are doing more than just disarming them. You are fundamentally rewiring their behavior in relation to you. You are teaching their primal brain on a level far deeper than words. A new, indelible lesson. This machine is permanently broken. This well is dry. There are no more pellets here. Eventually, like the pigeon, they will learn that pecking your buttons is a waste of their energy. And an addict will not stay where their drug is no longer available. They will be forced to go elsewhere to find their supply. This is your path to freedom. Not by fighting them, but by making yourself irrelevant to their addiction. But the process is not complete. The void of silence is the shield, but it cannot be held forever. After the 2 seconds of powerful neutrality, you must speak. But what you say is just as important as the silence that preceded it. Your words must be the final step in this process of extinction. They must be words that offer absolutely nothing for the narcissist's ego to consume. This is the art of the neutral response. This is how you become the gray rock. To become the gray rock is to master the art of being uninteresting. It is to make yourself so devoid of emotional texture that the narcissist's ego can find nothing to grip onto. After you have held your 2-second void, and the narcissist is reeling from the lack of reaction, they will be waiting for your words. Your words must be the final nail in the coffin of that interaction. They must be as smooth, plain, and dull as a stone. Your new vocabulary is one of profound and deliberate boredom. When they launch a tirade, you do not defend yourself. You give them a calm, "Why hear you?" When they try to bait you with a provocative insult, you do not bite. You respond with a flat, "Okay." When they make an outrageous claim to shock you, you give them a simple, "Ah." Other phrases in your new arsenal include, "You may be right. I will have to think about that." That's an interesting perspective. Do you see the pattern? These are not phrases of agreement. You are not validating their reality. They are phrases of pure, unadulterated disengagement. You are a mirror covered in fog. They can see their reflection, but it is blurry, indistinct, and unsatisfying. The tonality is just as important as the words. You must deliver these lines with no sarcasm, no anger, no fear. Your voice should be flat, calm, and almost monotone. You are not an actor playing a role. You are a mountain, and their words are merely the wind. The wind may howl, but the mountain does not care. It does not respond. It simply is. By combining the 2-second void with the gray rock response, you achieve something remarkable. You become a black hole for drama. You are an energetic dead end. And what happens to a parasite when its host no longer provides nourishment? It detaches. It is forced to seek another host. This is the ultimate point you must grasp. This entire technique is not about changing them. Let me repeat that, so it burns itself into your mind. You will never change a true narcissist. The attempt to do so is the trap that has kept you ensnared for so long. This is about changing their behavior towards you. You are using the fundamental laws of psychology to make yourself the most boring, unrewarding, and unsatisfying target they have ever encountered. Tea break, you are not winning the fight, you are making them forfeit the game. You have moved from being their 5-star restaurant of emotional supply to being a barren, empty rock. And an addict will not starve when there are other sources of supply readily available. This is how you reclaim your reality. It does not happen overnight. It requires the discipline of a Shaolin monk. You will have to practice holding the void. You will have to resist the extinction burst. You will have to master the art of the boring response. But with each successful interaction, something inside you will shift. The fear that has lived in your nervous system will begin to dissolve. The confusion will be replaced by clarity. The feeling of being a victim will be replaced by the quiet, unshakable power of the architect. You are no longer a character in their chaotic play. You are the author of your own piece. You have learned the nature of their game. You have learned that your reactions were their fuel. You have learned to create the void, the shield of neutrality. And you have learned to speak with the weight of a stone, offering nothing. This is the system. This is the technique. This is your key, not just to disarm a narcissist, but to reclaim your own sovereign mind. So now, you must make a final vow, the declaration of your energetic independence. A commitment to yourself that you will no longer allow your inner peace to be a source of food for someone else's inner emptiness. This is your moment of liberation. Seize it, seal it with an action. Write it in the comments below, not as a message to them, but as a binding contract with yourself. A declaration that will echo in your mind the next time you are faced with their game. Declare with me these 5 powerful words.